How many times have you opened your heart to someone only to find out they didn't deserve even a piece of it? How many times have you trusted someone with your dreams only for them to crush them with their lies and deceit? Life is too short to waste on the wrong people. But to protect your peace, to guard your light, you need to learn the signals, the red flags that scream, this person doesn't deserve your energy. It's time to stop excusing behavior that drains you. It's time to stop pretending everything is fine when your gut is telling you it's not. Pay attention to the signals, because fake people don't just hurt you, they stunt your growth, rob your joy, and leave you doubting your worth. Today I'm going to help you see through the masks. Let's dive into 7 signals that reveal bad and fake people so you can protect your energy, your heart, and your future. Number 1, they're always taking, never giving. Have you ever met someone who constantly seems to need you but is never there when you need them? Someone who thrives on your kindness, takes up your time, and uses your resources yet never reciprocates. That's the hallmark of a bad or fake person. They are takers, not givers. These individuals have a knack for disguising their selfishness as neediness, making you feel obligated to give while they take without hesitation or gratitude. At first, they may come across as charming or vulnerable. They'll appeal to your better nature, your empathy, and your kindness. They may say things like, "I don't know what I'd do without you," or "You're the only one I can count on." These words, while flattering, often mask their true intentions. They don't see you as a partner or a friend, they see you as a resource. To them, you are a well from which they can draw endlessly without ever considering how to replenish it. You'll notice that their requests aren't occasional, they're constant. They'll ask for favors, money, advice, or your time. And when you finally set boundaries or say no, they'll make you feel guilty. They might accuse you of being selfish or uncaring, flipping the narrative to paint themselves as the victim. This tactic, my friends, is emotional manipulation at its finest. But let me tell you this, relationships, whether personal or professional, are not meant to be one-sided. They are partnerships built on mutual respect and reciprocity. A real friend, a genuine person, will not let you carry the load alone. They will show up for you as much as you show up for them. They will celebrate your wins, support you in your losses, and offer help without expecting something in return. Bad and fake people, on the other hand, will drain you until there's nothing left. They will take your energy, your resources, and your love, leaving you feeling exhausted and used. And when you finally need them, they'll be nowhere to be found. These individuals thrive on imbalance. They want to be the center of attention, the focal point of your energy. They want you to pour into them endlessly, while they give you crumbs, if anything at all. They justify their behavior with excuses like, "I've just been so busy," or I'm going through a lot, but when the roles are reversed, those excuses don't apply. Think about how many times you've dropped everything to help them. Now think about how many times they've done the same for you. Can you count those moments on one hand, or do they even exist? Here's the hard truth: if someone only calls you when they need something, they're not a friend, they're not a partner, they're a user. And it's not your job to fix them, to change them, or to keep giving when it's clear they're not willing to do the same. Bad and fake people often prey on kind-hearted individuals. They know you're the type of person who hates to see others struggle, who will go out of their way to help. And while generosity is a beautiful trait, it's important to remember that your kindness is not a license for others to take advantage of you. Learn to recognize the signs. Do they only call or text when they need something? Do they make you feel guilty for not doing enough even when you're giving more than you can afford? Do they disappear when you're the one in need? These are not the behaviors of a real friend or a genuine person. Protect your energy. Surround yourself with people who give as much as they take, who pour into you as much as you pour into them. You deserve relationships that uplift you, not ones that drain you. When you start recognizing these takers, you'll realize the importance of setting boundaries and cutting off those who don't deserve your time or kindness. It's not selfish, it's survival. Your peace, your energy, and your well-being are worth it. Always. Number 2, they gossip about others, and they'll gossip about you. Listen carefully to the way someone talks about others. Pay attention to the tone of their words, the sharpness of their criticism, and the ease with which they dissect another person's character. This is a key signal of a bad or fake person. They thrive on gossip. They gather information not to understand or support, but to spread, manipulate, and tear others down. And here's the hard truth: if they're gossiping about others with you, it's only a matter of time before your name is part of their conversations with someone else. When you're in the company of a gossip, you'll notice how they turn the smallest situations into scandalous stories. They revel in the drama, embellishing facts to make their tales more shocking, more entertaining, or more damaging. These are not innocent exchanges, they're calculated moves. Gossip is their currency, and they use it to build false bonds with others. By sharing secrets or negativity, they create a facade of closeness, but it's all surface level. Underneath, there's no trust, no loyalty, just a web of deceit. Let me ask you something. How does it feel when you hear someone tearing another person apart? Does it make you question their integrity? Does it make you wonder what they say about you when you're not around? It should. Gossip is a reflection of a person's character, not the person they're talking about. A bad or fake person uses gossip as a tool to distract from their own flaws, to elevate themselves by diminishing others. And don't be fooled into thinking you're exempt. Sure, they might share the juicy stories with you now, making you feel like you're part of their inner circle. But when the moment suits them, your secrets, your struggles, and your vulnerabilities will be their next headline. A bad person doesn't value confidentiality, they exploit it. But why do they do this? Why do some people find joy in tearing others down? It's simple insecurity. A gossip's heart is often filled with envy and self-doubt. Instead of building themselves up, they choose to destroy others. They deflect attention from their own shortcomings by shining a harsh light on someone else's. It's easier for them to judge than to look inward and confront their own issues. Now let's talk about the impact of gossip. It's not just words, it's damage. Gossip can ruin reputations, destroy relationships, and sow seeds of distrust. And the person spreading it, they don't care about the fallout. They care about the attention, the reaction, and the temporary high of feeling powerful. But here's what they don't realize: their words say more about them than anyone else. So how do you handle a gossip? First, recognize them for what they are. If someone consistently speaks negatively about others, consider that your warning sign. Don't participate in their games. Don't laugh, nod, or agree. Your silence or complicity only fuels their behavior. Instead, set boundaries. Let them know you're not interested in hearing negativity about others. If they persist, distance yourself. Remember this: a real friend protects your name when you're not in the room. A genuine person doesn't need to put others down to lift themselves up. If someone's conversation is always centered on tearing others apart, they're not a person of integrity. They're a liability. Protect your peace by protecting your circle. Surround yourself with people who speak life, not negativity, who build others up, not tear them down. When you rid your life of gossip and those who thrive on it, you'll find more trust, more peace, and more authenticity. And that, my friends, is worth everything. Number 3, they are never happy for your success. There's a certain kind of person who can't stand to see others thrive. They wear a smile when you're struggling, but the moment you achieve something, their mask begins to slip. These are the bad and fake people who see your success as a threat instead of a celebration. They may say the right words like congratulations or I'm so happy for you, but their tone, their body language, and their actions tell a different story. You've seen it before: the slight grimace when you share good news, the half-hearted clap when you win, the way they immediately change the subject or try to diminish your accomplishment. Oh, that's nice, but did you hear about what I'm doing? Or worse, they'll downplay your hard work. Well, anyone could have done that if they were in your shoes. That, my friend, is not support. That's envy disguised as indifference. The truth is, these people are so consumed by their insecurities that they can't genuinely celebrate someone else's achievements. Your success reminds them of their own perceived failures. Instead of using your victories as motivation or inspiration, they let bitterness and jealousy take over. And in their minds, the easiest way to cope is to bring you down to their level, or at least try. But here's the thing: someone who can't be happy for you is revealing their true colors. A real friend, a genuine person, will clap the loudest when you win. They'll celebrate your promotions, your milestones, and your breakthroughs because your happiness brings them joy. They don't see your success as a threat, they see it as a testament to what's possible. Bad and fake people, however, will do everything they can to dampen your light. They'll plant seeds of doubt in your mind, saying things like, "Are you sure this is a good idea, or do you really think you can handle this?" They'll compare your success to someone else's to make you feel like it's not enough. And when that doesn't work, they'll outright criticize you, questioning your abilities or your worth. What's even more damaging is their subtle sabotage. They might spread rumors to undermine your reputation or withhold opportunities that could help you grow. They'll pretend to be in your corner while secretly hoping and sometimes actively working for your downfall. So how do you deal with people who can't be happy for your success? First, stop seeking their validation. You don't need their applause to know your worth. Your accomplishments stand on their own, whether they're recognized by others or not. Second, distance yourself from their negativity. You don't need that kind of energy in your life. Surround yourself with people who genuinely want to see you succeed, who inspire you to keep pushing forward. It's also important to remember that their behavior is not about you, it's about them. Their inability to celebrate your wins speaks volumes about their own insecurities. It's not your job to fix that, to shrink yourself to make them feel more comfortable, or to hold back your potential to protect their ego. And let's be clear, your success is not up for negotiation. You worked hard for what you've achieved. You stayed up late, you made sacrifices, and you pushed through obstacles to get where you are. Don't let anyone's bitterness take away from that. Don't let their lack of support make you question whether you deserve what you've earned. Celebrate yourself. Celebrate loudly, boldly, and unapologetically. Your victories are yours to own, and the right people will be there to cheer you on. The wrong ones, let them watch from a distance, because your journey doesn't depend on their approval. You're moving forward and you're not looking back. Keep winning, keep shining, and let their envy fuel your determination. You've earned it. Number 4, they constantly play the victim. Have you ever met someone who, no matter what happens, always seems to be the victim? They wear their misfortune like a badge of honor, twisting every situation to make it seem like the world is out to get them. These people will turn their own mistakes into your responsibility, their own shortcomings into someone else's fault, and their bad decisions into evidence that life has treated them unfairly. This is a powerful signal of bad and fake people. They use the victim card to manipulate, to evade accountability, and to keep you trapped in their web of self-pity. These individuals are experts at turning the narrative in their favor. If they forget to meet you, it's because something came up or no one understands how much they're dealing with. If they betray your trust, they'll insist they had no choice or that life forced their hand. They'll cry, lament, and even lash out, all to divert attention away from their role in their own problems. Now, don't misunderstand me. Everyone faces challenges, and there's nothing wrong with expressing pain or frustration. But these people take it to a whole new level. They don't just share their struggles, they weaponize them. They use their supposed victimhood to garner sympathy, to manipulate others into doing what they want, or to excuse behavior that would otherwise be unacceptable. But here's the real kicker: when you try to support them, when you offer advice or solutions, they reject it. Why? Because they don't want solutions, they want attention. They don't want to move forward, they want to stay stuck, pulling you down with them. And the more time you spend trying to help, the more you realize that your efforts are never enough. Think about the toll this takes on you. Every time you engage with their endless tales of woe, you're pouring your energy into a bottomless pit. You're giving your time, your compassion, and your emotional reserves to someone who has no intention of growing or improving. Over time, you start to feel drained, frustrated, and even guilty for not being able to fix them. But here's the hard truth: it's not your job to fix someone who refuses to take responsibility for their own life. Recognizing a victim mentality isn't always easy, especially when you care about the person. They're skilled at making their problems seem so overwhelming, so urgent that you feel compelled to step in. But you have to ask yourself, is this a pattern? Do they ever acknowledge their role in their challenges? Do they ever take action to change their circumstances, or do they always find an excuse? A genuine person will face their struggles head on. They'll admit when they've made mistakes, they'll seek advice with the intention of using it, and they'll take steps to improve their situation. A fake person, on the other hand, will cling to their victimhood because it's easier than taking responsibility. So how do you handle someone like this? First, set boundaries. You can listen to their concerns without letting them consume your energy. Offer support, but don't take on their burdens as your own. Second, encourage accountability. Instead of offering endless sympathy, ask them what steps they plan to take to address their problems. Finally, be prepared to step back if they refuse to change. You can't help someone who doesn't want to help themselves. Understand this: your empathy is a gift, but it's not something to be exploited. Protect it. Surround yourself with people who value your support and who are willing to grow. Life is too short to waste on those who are determined to stay stuck. You deserve relationships that uplift you, not ones that drain you. Let them play the victim, but don't let them make you their accomplice. Stand firm, set your boundaries, and keep moving forward. Number 5, they make everything about themselves. There's a kind of person who never listens, never gives, and never truly cares about anyone else unless it serves their own interests. These people are masters at hijacking conversations, turning every story, every event, and every moment into something about themselves. They'll take your joy, your pain, or your success and somehow spin it into a narrative that puts them at the center. This is one of the clearest signals of bad and fake people. They are self-centered to the point of erasing everyone else's significance. Picture this: you're sharing a moment of vulnerability, opening up about something that's been weighing on your heart. Instead of listening, they jump in with, "Oh, that reminds me of when I went through something similar," and suddenly it's all about them. Your feelings, your experiences, and your need for connection are pushed aside, as though they don't matter. These people are not just poor listeners, they're takers. They take your time, your energy, and your attention, but they rarely, if ever, give back. When you need support, they're nowhere to be found, but when they want something, they expect you to drop everything and be there for them. Their selfishness knows no bounds, and their lack of reciprocity leaves you feeling drained and unappreciated. What's worse, their self-centeredness often disguises itself as charm or charisma. They might seem engaging at first with their bold stories and magnetic personalities, but over time you realize that their charm is a tool, a way to keep the spotlight firmly on themselves. They'll interrupt you, dismiss your ideas, and even belittle your achievements if it means they can stay in the limelight. Bad and fake people like this thrive on control. By making everything about themselves, they dictate the tone of every interaction. They decide what's important, what deserves attention, and what gets ignored. This control allows them to manipulate situations to their advantage, ensuring that they always come out on top. But here's the truth: relationships are not a one-way street. A healthy connection is built on mutual respect, shared empathy, and the understanding that both people's voices matter. When someone consistently prioritizes their own needs over yours, they're showing you who they really are. How do you handle someone who makes everything about themselves? First, recognize the pattern. Stop making excuses for their behavior or telling yourself they don't mean it. Their actions speak louder than their words. Second, assert yourself. If they interrupt, redirect the conversation. If they dismiss your feelings, call them out on it. Let them know that your voice deserves to be heard too. Finally, decide whether this is a relationship worth maintaining. Some people can change if they're made aware of their behavior and are willing to work on it. But others will continue to take, dismiss, and manipulate, no matter how many chances you give them. Protect your peace, your energy, and your self-worth by stepping away from relationships that leave you feeling invisible. You deserve to be seen, heard, and valued. Surround yourself with people who lift you up, who listen without interrupting, and who celebrate you as much as you celebrate them. Life is too precious to waste on those who make everything about themselves. Reclaim your space, your voice, and your joy. You're worthy of relationships that honor the incredible person you are. Number 6, they gossip and spread negativity. One of the loudest signals of bad and fake people is their addiction to gossip and negativity. They thrive on whispering about others, spreading rumors, and sowing seeds of doubt wherever they go. These individuals are the architects of chaos, always stirring the pot and dragging others into their web of toxic behavior. They cloak their actions in phrases like, "I'm just being honest," or "I heard it from someone reliable." But their real motive is to tear others down while elevating themselves. When you're in the presence of a gossip, it can feel like walking on a tightrope. At first, their stories might seem entertaining or even harmless, but there's a darker side to their behavior. What they say about others today could be what they'll say about you tomorrow. These people are not loyal, they're opportunistic. They'll twist truths, exaggerate flaws, and reveal confidences, all to gain attention or manipulate those around them. Think about how draining it is to be surrounded by someone like this. Their conversations are rarely uplifting or productive. Instead, they're filled with complaints, judgments, and criticisms. They'll point out what's wrong with everyone else, but never take a hard look at themselves. They live for drama, and they'll drag you into it if you let them. Worse still, their negativity has a way of spreading like wildfire. If you spend enough time with them, you might find yourself starting to see the world through their lens of suspicion and cynicism. Suddenly, you're questioning people's intentions, doubting your own worth, and feeling more stressed than ever. Their toxic energy is contagious and it can chip away at your peace of mind if you're not careful. So how do you handle someone who gossips and spreads negativity? First, don't engage. If they start to talk about someone else behind their back, change the subject or gently call them out. You can say something like, "I'd rather not talk about them when they're not here to share their side." By refusing to participate, you're setting a boundary that makes it clear you're not interested in their toxicity. Second, evaluate their role in your life. Are they a casual acquaintance, a coworker, or someone close to you? The closer they are, the more important it is to address their behavior directly. Let them know how their negativity affects you and encourage them to focus on more positive, constructive topics. Finally, protect your own energy. If their gossip and negativity persist, it might be time to create some distance. You don't have to cut them off entirely, but you can limit the time you spend with them and the topics you discuss. Remember, it's not your responsibility to change them, it's your responsibility to protect your peace. Understand this life is too short to be consumed by other people's drama. There's so much beauty, joy, and possibility in the world, but you can't see it if you're constantly surrounded by negativity. Choose relationships that inspire you, conversations that uplift you, and environments that nourish your soul. The next time someone tries to pull you into their cycle of gossip and negativity, stand firm. Refuse to participate, refuse to let their words affect you, and refuse to carry their toxic baggage. You're meant for greater things, for deeper connections, and for a life filled with light and purpose. Leave the gossipers behind and focus on the people who bring out the best in you. Let your life be a testament to positivity, growth, and love. That's the kind of energy worth sharing. Number 7, they disappear when you need them the most. One of the most heartbreaking signals of bad and fake people is their ability to vanish in your times of need. When everything is going well, they're right there, laughing, celebrating, and soaking up the good times with you. But the moment your life takes a difficult turn, they're nowhere to be found. These are the people who claim to be your friends, who promise to have your back. But when the storm hits, they leave you standing in the rain. Imagine this scenario: you're going through a tough time, maybe you lost a job, faced a health scare, or just needed a shoulder to lean on. You reach out to them expecting the same support you've given them countless times before. But instead of offering comfort, they offer excuses. They're too busy, too overwhelmed, or dealing with their own stuff. Days turn into weeks, and their silence speaks louder than any words could. These people are not there for you because they never intended to be. They were only around when it was convenient for them, when they could benefit from your kindness, your energy, and your resources. The moment you needed something in return, something real, they couldn't deliver. They're like fair weather friends, loyal only to the sunshine and completely absent in the storm. Now here's the painful truth: it hurts to realize that someone you cared about isn't willing to care for you in return. It feels like betrayal, because it is. But as hard as it is to accept, their actions reveal their true character. And while it's tempting to hold on to hope that they'll change, you have to ask yourself, how many times will you let them disappear before you start valuing yourself enough to stop waiting for them? Real friends, real connections show up when it matters most. They don't have to have all the answers or solutions sometimes. Just their presence is enough. They'll sit with you in your pain, hold your hand through the uncertainty, and remind you that you're not alone. That's what real support looks like. So how do you handle people who disappear when you need them the most? First, recognize the pattern. Stop making excuses for their behavior. They've shown you who they are, and it's time to believe them. Second, stop chasing them. Don't beg for their attention or try to convince them to care. If someone's loyalty is conditional, it's not loyalty at all. Third, focus on building relationships with people who genuinely value you. Seek out those who are there for you in both the good times and the bad, who celebrate your highs and stand with you through your lows. These are the people who deserve your time, your energy, and your love. Finally, learn to stand strong on your own. Yes, we all need support at times, but there's power in knowing that you can weather the storm even when others let you down. Use their absence as a reminder of your resilience, your strength, and your ability to overcome. Life will test you. It will throw challenges your way that reveal the true nature of the people around you. And while it's painful to lose those you thought you could count on, it's also liberating to let go of relationships that weigh you down. You don't need people who disappear when times get tough. You need people who will walk through the fire with you, who will stand by your side no matter what. Choose wisely. Surround yourself with people who lift you, who see you, and who stay. Let the rest fade away because you deserve more than their fleeting loyalty. You deserve real love, real friendship, and real support. And most of all, you deserve to never feel abandoned again. Ladies and gentlemen, the time to recognize these signals is now. Your peace, your happiness, your growth depend on surrounding yourself with the right people. Don't wait until you're broken to realize who's breaking you. Pay attention. Learn the signs. And most importantly, don't be afraid to let go of anyone who doesn't deserve your light. You owe it to yourself to walk away from the bad and fake people in your life and to walk towards the joy, the love, and the purpose you deserve. Then you.